Hey, Konnichiwa, it's Gray from Wakizashi's Teahouse over in Japan. How are you doing? You good? Are you Genki? Okay, I tell you what, I enjoyed Batman Dark Patterns issue 1 so much, and I do have a review on the channel if you've not seen it, that I wanted to review issue 2. I've just finished reading it for the second time, absolutely loved it. Big recommend. If you're not reading Batman Dark Patterns, do pick it up. Okay, it's written by Dan Watters, has art by Hayden Sherman, and colours by Triona Farrell. This is, just let me check, $4.99, it's 28 pages, say it just dropped on Wednesday. So, what's it all about? Well, basically it's We Are Wounded Part 2. We get some big reveals in this issue about who the protagonist or the antagonist is. Who is this weird new villain? Where does he come from? We get more of an idea. Some great scenes of Batman and Gordon working together. Still kind of, what's the word? The relationship's not set in stone yet. They don't really trust each other, or do they? We see some new interesting characters, like there's a journalist, or possibly a disgraced journalist who's helping Batman out with some information. The goofy doctor with the formaldehyde habit from issue 1, he's still here. Yeah, some really good action scenes. Great art, I think, in this by Hayden Sherman. I know, Wonder Woman, yeah, absolute Wonder Woman. People don't really seem to like it that much, although some do. But I prefer his work here in this Batman story. Wait till you see some of the cityscapes, the views of Gotham. The Batmobile looks amazing. So yeah, okay, for a score, I'm going to give this a very strong 8.5 out of 10. Really enjoying it. And let's get on with a story summary. So please keep watching. Here we go. So at the end of the last issue, we were introduced to the concept of the Wound Man. As we can see in this old historical book here, we've got Gordon asking, "So you know who he is?" "Not yet," replies Batman. Nice image there of the bat signal looking good. I like the use of shadows here, really good in the art. It's kind of simple, but if you look, and someone pointed this out to me in my review of the first issue, there's always something going on in the background when you look through this book. You know, even though some might say the art is a bit simplistic at times, it can be very angular, very straight lines, but yeah, there's a lot of detail, there's a lot of movement, there are things happening all the time that catch your eye. And Batman appears to have found a list of the targets, the killer's targets. Gordon's talking about getting them into protective custody. But Batman's not sure. He's saying that if we do that, the Woo Man, he might disappear. They need a law, they need bait. If you remember the weird doctor, kind of goofy doctor from last issue, Dr. Sareka, there's quite a funny comment here about him. Got Gordon saying, "Dr. Sareka is examining the bodies at his lab at the university. He's confident he can draw out clues to this sicko's identity." And Batman replies, "The fool pathologist with the formaldehyde habit? You can't trust his work, Gordon." Okay, I just want to pan out here and show the full page. I love this page here. It's a title page. Batman Dark Patterns, We Are the Wounded Part 2. But look at the cityscape in the background. Look how much detail there is there. We're getting narration of what I guess is clips of the news. It's all bad news, of course. There's a fire somewhere near Gotham General. Some freak has been taping razor blades under car door handles. Police have captured a thief who's been stealing pets in the Narrows. It just gets weird here. This is real Dan Watters moment. They found him stitching the wings of a pigeon onto a labradoodle. Labradoodle? You what? Trying to create an animal that would survive the Gotham streets. Then we see Batman looking through his cool goggles there. I like the yellow circles, reflecting like the bat symbol as well. I've heard quite a bit of criticism for Hayden Sherman's art. Not in this book so much, but especially for Wonder Woman. But I think I really like his style in this book. I think it works, despite the, as I say, sometimes angular figures or a bit triangular noses, that kind of thing. Next, we see Batman's tracked down who he believes is the next victim on the Wound Man's list. It's an old drunken guy here who was a convict who the first victim, the lawyer, helped. Then again, take a look at this art here. Love this angle looking down from I guess it's a cathedral. Very cool. Nice use of colours as well. Then here he is, we see the Wound Man climbing up the drain pipe, it appears, of the building. He's going for the guy's apartment, I guess. I think it looks pretty cool. I like the design, although Jim from Weird Science Comics would say it looks a bit like Lady Gaga. Gaga. What's going on? But as the Wound Man breaks into the man's apartment, he has a surprise waiting for him. Batman's there. He says he knows what he thinks the Wound Man's doing. He thinks he's helping these men, taking away the loneliness. You think you're a healer, you're not. It ends now. And there's a crazy moment where Batman's saying, he knows whatever he does, if he punches him, if he kicks him, he will injure him, possibly kill him. He's saying, don't make me hurt you. And the Woo Man's screaming, please hurt me. Scary. So he obviously wants the pain. He's looking for the pain. That's why, he does what he does to himself. Then we get some really interesting exposition from Dan Waters in the narration here. So Batman's saying he knows whatever he does, he might damage something vital. He pulls out a canister. Is it shark repellent? No. TV and comic books have misled people about knockout toxins. It's never as easy as a rag over the mouth or a dart from a rifle that puts the victim to sleep in seconds. It's far riskier than that. And he sprays the Woo Man with something, some kind of gas. The dosage of gas needs to be carefully calibrated to the subject's body weight and lung capacity. That sounds pretty difficult to me, don't know about you. So, a slight miscalculation and, damn it, the Woo Man drops to the ground. The risk of death from a seizure or a heart failure is significant. Another great scene here as well. We've got the next target, the drunken man. He's just coming in. His hands are shaking as he tries to unlock the door to his apartment, when suddenly, boom, Batman comes storming out. Move! He's got the Woo Man over his shoulder, running down the stairs. We see the drunken guy watching in disbelief behind. This goddamn city. Then we get another look at the Batmobile, the very cool version of it in this comic book. Batman's taken to the hospital. The Woo Man's complaining, it still doesn't hurt. Another great page here. Check out this image of Gotham City, the street view. The hospital itself is on fire, it's burning. Instead, Batman takes him to Dr. Sareka, the weird formaldehyde doctor. Golly, he says, usually I only deal with bodies after they're dead. Can you save him? The doctor thinks he can. He asks Batman to massage his heart. If you can, without those fetching spikes piercing it while you're at it. I love the way he uses the word fetching spikes. He kind of admires it. Reminds me of the Alien movie, the first one. You admire it. The doctor injects him with adrenaline, and it seems to work. His heart is beating again. Batman handcuffs the Woo Man to the table. Call Gordon. Tell him what happened here. We need to question him as soon as he wakes up. Where are you going? Asks the doctor. To find out who made him and why. Okay, we switch scenes to Batman here. He's visiting someone called Nikki Harris. Turns out Nikki Harris gave him some info for the killer croc in the sewers case. Some kind of journalist by the looks of things. There's a funny scene here again where you've got the journalist asking Batman, so, you finally read my article on you? You claimed I was a vampire from Eastern Europe. It's great. You're fomenting fear in this town for a cent a word. Nikki responds with, fear? The city's built on a foundation of myth. And there's a great couple of lines here. Listen to this. All these scared people who come from all over the world seeking the promised land of prosperity. They get to Gotham to find no jobs, inflation through the roof, and a clown trying to poison the water supply. No wonder we cling to old stories from our old lands. They make more sense than life in Gotham. Well, then I have to admit, with this panel here, we do get the Hayden Sherman Wonder Woman facial effect going on. It's a bit weird, the faces, but I say up until now, I think the art's been really, really good. And here it gets even more intriguing, where Batman's saying that 2 years ago, Nikki, the journalist, he attempted an expose on Ace Chemicals. For that, he ended up getting fired from his job. Nikki replies that, the big boys of pharmaceuticals got wind and sicked their lawyers on me hard, ruined me in a matter of days. They're very good at scrubbing their prints from any kind of public record. Batman's asking him to look into anesthetics or nerve agents. Nikki gives him a file and says, nothing you'd find in any modern database, though I'm guessing you've checked. It's always harder to scrub old paper files though. There's rumours of a chemical agent called cryoxin. It disappeared from records. Batman's saying, something went wrong, they made a monster. What happened to it? What happened to the chemical? Nikki doesn't know, but he says he might have a theory. Have you ever heard of the town without screams? I tell you what, it's I know I shouldn't be laughing, but it's a very Dan Waters line, isn't it? The town without screams. Anyway, nice art again, even with Batman's triangular nose. I like the shade, the shadows, the silhouettes, the lighting, the colours. Back to the doctor, and we see the wound man's eye opening. Ah, you're awake. Turns out he hasn't notified the police that Batman's left the wound man here. He wants to talk to him, doctor to doctor, as he says. What you've done to yourself, it's remarkable. My guess, it was an attempt to channel the pain you can no longer feel, but it didn't work. Back to Batman, and he's on a call with Gordon. Gordon, is the wound man awake? Gordon's surprised. What? You found him? Then Batman realizes that Dr. Sareka didn't let him know. He didn't call the police. He was meant to call you. Gordon's angry. You left that maniac alone with the pathologist? I'll send a team to collect him. Then Batman tells Gordon he was right. Ace Chemicals created the wound man. They might have created more. Gordon asks for proof. I'm working on it. I'm heading out of town. Okay, we switch scenes again. We've got Gordon going to see the mayor. He tells him the suspect has been apprehended. He's at the pathology lab in Gotham University. The mayor seems delighted and then says, I wanted to introduce you to a concerned citizen, an old associate of mine. They've been discussing that maybe it's better to keep this clean and quiet. Better for all of them. Commissioner, fantastic work. My name is Christopher Sionis, CEO and Senior Partner at Axis Core. You may have heard of some of the subsidiaries that we operate in Gotham. Janus Cosmetics and Ace Chemicals, says Gordon. Oh, you've heard of us. Then we shift to another scene, and I've got to say, okay, I've got to admit here, the art, maybe the art, the colouring, there's something about it. It looks a bit weird. Also just seeing Batman like walking down this street with very old looking cars. Can you see his Batmobile parked up near the top there? It's upstate Gotham, insulated from the sickness of the city by miles of road. I find little cause to visit here often. It's a place where good living and moderate wealth are taken for granted, where suburban happiness is promised. But not here, it would seem. We're told that this is the planned community of green fields, which last year the tabloids dubbed the town without screams. Now the people of Gotham call for superstitions to save them, and we see, like in front of an abandoned house, there's a sign painted saying, Wound Man, heal us, with a red stick figure with what can clearly be seen as like nails or iron bars sticking through it. But then, back at the doctor's lab, we see two hooded figures, armed, coming in. Stop it! You can't, says the doctor. Take him! They've come for the wound man, and that's where the issue ends. To be continued. And there you have it. Do hope you enjoyed the review. Do drop a comment in the comment section. Love to hear what you think. Are you reading this? If not, why not? So here's the main cover, of course, by Sherman. We've got a variant cover, only one available. It's by Martin Simmons, who maybe you might know from, what's it called, The Department of Truth. You know, James Tiny Onions, weird conspiracy-themed book. So very like kind of dark, indie, scratchy, rough-looking art. It's a bit weird. I thought Simmons' version of the Wound Man, yeah, you know, the villain, it looks more like the Penguin on this. But anyway, maybe it's just me. So, okay, thanks for watching, and as I say, do drop a comment. If you've not seen the review of issue 1, do check it out, and I hope to see you in a future video. This is Gray from Wakizashi's Teahouse, signing off for the morning here. Matane.